There are fears that up to 500,000 hectares of biologically rich woodlands on Western Australia's south coast could be destroyed for farming. The Great Western Woodlands are home to a fifth of Australia's known flora, but the local Shire wants to investigate clearing parts of it for agriculture. The Shire of Esperance says it's very early days, but conservation groups have documents showing the WA Cabinet and government departments have already been briefed on the idea. The ABC's environment reporter Jake Sturmer has the story.
The Great Western Woodlands stretch for hundreds of kilometres along WA's southern coast. Conservation biologist Professor Steve Hopper has just returned from his latest field trip there.
We happened to get onto a few granite outcrops. We climbed a couple of these things and turned up a new species of eucalypt that is only known in that area. Beautiful little thing, about 2 metres high, with very bright red colourful flowers.
The former curator of London's famous Kew Gardens has studied this area for decades.
There's something of the order of 150 different species of eucalypts, and the animals and plants there are tremendously interesting and largely untouched, if you like, by agricultural development.
For now, there are fears the ancient woodlands are under threat. Documents obtained by conservation groups under Freedom of Information laws show the Shire of Esperance has identified 500,000 hectares of Crown land in the region, which it believes should be considered for agricultural development. Peter Robertson is a senior campaigner with the Wilderness Society.
We, like many people, had thought that this very outdated form of agricultural development had finished in WA 30 years ago. But lo and behold, there are still people that seem to think that is an appropriate and justifiable way to develop agriculture.
The Esperance Shire President Malcolm Heisman says it's not about clearing any predetermined amount, simply investigating the land's potential.
The Great Western Woodlands cover an enormous amount of area, and it's not about devastating any biodiversity zone or anything like that. It's about responsible agriculture at the end of the day, because when it's all said and done, the world is growing and does need feeding.
In the last few weeks, scientists have actually discovered a new species of eucalypt out there. What's your reaction to that?
Well, look, there may be an awful lot that has not been discovered previously. I'm sure we haven't found every flora and fauna known to man yet. And
doesn't that then go to the argument of not clearing?
Well, I think it goes to the argument of selective clearing. Conservation would need to come first, but let's not say because there's a newfound species of eucalypt that the whole area is sacrosanct, never to be touched.
The Shire, in conjunction with the Goldfields Esperance Development Commission, will investigate the proposal before making a final decision on whether to ask the government for support next year.
Environment reporter